Yeah, what's going on? Man, listen. Pardon My Presence YouTube channel. There's always some celebrity or some person on a platform that always says something stupid, yet they think it's profound. And that person is a woman by the name of Loni Love. She's on, I guess, a counterfeit View show, or maybe it is The View. I don't know, but she's on there with an Asian woman, the girl from 3LW, one of the twins, Tia or Tamara, not sure which one. She's on there with Amanda Diva, and yeah, Loni Love. Anyways, I don't really watch this show, but you always see clips on YouTube about this show, and there's always some hot takes, and it seems to be hot takes that Loni Love makes. The last one, which I didn't really want to discuss, I didn't want to bring it to anyone's attention, was what she said about finding love, wherever it may be, and what she's really referring to is dating outside your race and finding a white man or whatever other man that's not black, because you can't depend on the black man to treat you the way you deserve to be treated. That's essentially what she was trying to say. I ignored that, left that alone, not going to bring light to those matters. But then here she is, maybe about 2 or 3 months later, probably not even 3 months later, but here she is making a hot take. Okay? Now, the hot take that she makes is that, because they're discussing Kevin Hart, and they used a Joe Budden clip to kind of preface the whole conversation, and the clip was taken straight out of context, and they ran with a false narrative. What Joe was really saying was, it's not that, he works so hard, Kevin Hart deserves to cheat and have fun. What he was saying is that Kevin Hart works so hard that he doesn't have time to spend at home and have the proper communication with his partner to discuss how he's feeling, to unwind and be able to create space where he could communicate with his partner, because he's always on the go, he's always moving around. And that's probably the biggest factors to why people cheat, is because there's no downtime to actually discuss how you feel with your partner, to kind of correct things and possibly salvage the relationship or the marriage. And because you're always on the go, like you're like two ships in the night, however that saying is, you find solace in other people. And that's usually why coworkers end up in, affairs, because you're more with the coworker than you are with your own partner. So that's what Joe was really trying to say. But they took it as in, Kevin Hart works so hard, he's a millionaire, he is entitled to have girls on the side too, and that's false. Anyways, fast forward to what Loni Love decides to say. She makes it a point, because it's very important. She doesn't talk. All the other women talk, and she makes it a point to speak last, even after Amanda Diva. Pretentious ass. Anyway, she decided to speak last. And her quote-unquote prominent statement that we were all waiting for was,
in the black community, I don't speak for the black community, but I do think that a lot of black men, they really don't know how to have true, faithful relationships. They think because they have money, because they have power, that they can treat women any kind of way.
Loni Love is saying things.
And that is something we need to work on. We need to work on that money and power does not mean that you can just do whatever you want to do.
I think sadly in so many cultures that is the whole machismo thing, like that goes across the board, but I'm gonna say...
No, it's not across the board, because what is happening is that we are still dealing with the point of slavery, and we are descendants of slavery, and because our families were broken up, we still do not have an idea of how to have together families, because our families were broken up.
Yes,
and until we really
from that perspective, I absolutely
Not
get
just
also
slavery, welfare reform in the 60s and 70s. Like this is a long
Longer
So when you
conversation.
get, when you hear, because I want to say, when you hear Joe Budden say, you know, well, you know, he worked so hard. It's not a bad thing. He's saying, you know, Kevin don't want to be poor no more. Okay? So he's like, let me go out here and make this money because I don't want to go back to where I was in Philly. So what he was saying was he was using it as an excuse, and we modernize it and say, but that's not, no, but what you got to understand the whole psychology behind it. That's the reason why he's working so hard, because he don't want to go back to where he came from, because then he'll lose the power.
And then working so hard is affecting his relationship.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it is a
Conundrum.
Black men or rich celebrities or rich black men don't know how to treat their women. They feel that they're entitled and they don't treat their women well, and they cheat. It's in a black man's nature. This is essentially what she's saying. I'm paraphrasing, but this is essentially what she's saying. And the funny part about it is that here comes I think she's Hispanic, from 3LW. Here she comes in trying to clean up what Loni Love said, because what she said was ridiculous. She tried to clean up by saying, wait, other cultures have men who cheat, and it's not, you know, specific to black men. It's men across the board from all cultures that are susceptible to this. And not only men, women are susceptible to this as well too. Because if you really want to get down to it, whoever Kevin Hart was with, that woman knows Kevin Hart has a wife, because Kevin Hart's brand is that he has a new wife and left his old wife for the new wife, and he parades around town with his new wife who's taller than him. That's part of his story. That's his brand. Ain't no way you're a fan of Kevin Hart and not know that he's married. So how do you feel about a woman? I don't care if she's single, in a relationship, or married herself, but how do you feel about a woman who decides to sleep with a married man? If you ask me, although she might not have no obligation to Kevin Hart's marriage, she is still complicit in the act of cheating. Therefore, she is a cheater as well too, because potentially what she is doing could ruin a marriage. So I put that tag on that woman too, but for some reason, these women on The View and shows like The View never want to have an honest discussion and never want to hold other women accountable. But again, that's a whole nother story. But here comes the 3LW girl trying to, you know, throw her a lifeline and say, you mean all men? And then here Loni Love comes in and says, no, black men. She zeroes in on black men. And then what does she do so that no one on the panel could argue with her? She says, it is a result of slavery and the traumatic effects of slavery. And then Amanda Diva, which also has issues with black men as well too. You could do a research on her past. She mentions welfare system and this and that, trying to make it seem like black men have suffered so much that they have no, what's the word I'm looking for? They can't discern the difference between right and wrong. They don't have the capability to be faithful, to have a positive, productive relationships with women. Do y'all believe that shit? Me personally, I gotta say, here's where they went wrong, because slavery is how many years ago, right? If black men are still today being affected by slavery, which in some cases not black men, because black women were involved in slavery too. If the black community is affected by slavery at this time and age, then wouldn't you think they were more affected by slavery and Jim Crow and racism back in the 50s, the 60s, the 40s, the 30s? But during those times, there were more black marriages. The family unit was more intact. There's more structure in the black community during those times than there are now, per se. So that conclusion that cheating is an effect of slavery is ridiculous. No, cheating is about opportunity. And all types of men and women, if they have the opportunity to do something and not get caught, they would. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that people want to have their cake and eat it too. This is what cheating is about. Because it's only cheating if you're in another relationship. It's only cheating if you decide to not leave your partner, but to stay with them and have them tag along while you're doing other stuff with other women or doing other stuff with other men. No, you should have the balls or the bra straps to say, look, this relationship is not working. I think we should see other people and go our separate ways. Or have a sit down and say, this relationship is not working. What can we do to mend this and to change this and to become better? Because I don't want to be in the position where I may or may not cheat or have an affair. I think that's an honest discussion to have. And if two people, a man and a woman, are really in the proper relationship, they will have a sit down and have an honest discussion. Okay? But again, Loni Love really needs to stop talking on these platforms and act like she is the spokesperson for black people, because she is not. She's not intelligent to have these conversations. But on top of that, on this platform, which let's not make no bones about it, this is a mainstream platform, which means that these messages are going to people who majority are not black. It's given the impression that black men are degenerates, that black men are good for nothing, that black men have a specific flaw. And we don't. Because white men cheat, Spanish men cheat, Indian men cheat, Asian men cheat, white women cheat, black women cheat, Asian women cheat, Indian women cheat. Cheating is a human condition. And the last time I checked, black men aren't the only humans walking around here. So Loni Love, you're wrong for that. Check yourself. Stop making these dumbass comments. If you ask me, that show really needs some men on these panels to correct them, to put them in their place, and to kind of balance that energy, because they're really saying harmful and hateful things that are making people believe that black men are the super predators that are coming down and ravaging the dating field and ravaging all the women and making baby mamas and having kids out of wedlock and doing all the bad things that you hear in the rap videos and R&B videos. And that is not true. Let's get over that hump. Let's see things for what they really are. Loni Love is a bitter woman. She has issues based on what she's experienced in past relationships that she hasn't come to terms with. Because a lot of things that she says is directed towards a specific man and seem to be her specific experiences, which only she could fix and address. It's not for everyone else to be subjected by it. Again, that's my view on what's going on there on this topic and what she said. Never mind it. Women, I hope you realize that what she's saying is full of shit. I hope people realize that just don't look at the message. I used to think that, you need to look at the message only. But now I'm realizing, because there's a lot of propaganda out there, you gotta look at the messenger as well too, and find out what sensibilities they possess, what thought processes they possess that allows them to come to terms or to come to that particular conclusion where they have that particular message. Because when you start to dissect the people who are making these comments, you really start to see why those comments are being made. And that's happening with women that's happening with the LGBT community. You can see it's happening with Malik Yoba. If you want to, get specific, it's happening to a lot of people. And you start to realize that it's not what they're saying, it's who they are that's caused them to have these messages, and what is their reasoning for putting this out there in the world for other people to consume. You have to be careful, and you have to dig into it further and have more discernment and figure out why these things are being said and who is saying it and what the purpose of them saying it is. And you'll find out that a lot of these people are hurt people looking to get more company so people could join them in their misery. Don't join them. Stay above the fray. Understand human nature and the human condition. It's across the board, all races. Leave black men alone. Pardon my presence. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out. Peace.